Alright, before we begin, I'd just like to start with a few disclaimers. I'm not going to take any woke agenda stances here because some people don't know how to suspend some disbelief to come across the morals of someone else that someone else tries to get across. Even if it does feel a little ham-fisted, I do admit. No, I'm gonna talk about the genuine lesson that I learned watching the movie. Or rather, the genuine realization I had. Because there was something about this movie that really struck a chord inside me. Spoiler alert! For the entirety of the Barbie movie. I'm gonna go over the journey Barbie and Ken go through because both their experiences resonated with me, as odd as it may seem. Okay, especially if you've seen the movie. So, if you haven't watched the movie, I recommend you do. It's worth the money. Don't believe some asshat who can only think one way and refuse to evaluate themselves. Ahem. With that out of the way, let's get to it. From the get-go, there's already some friction between Barbie and Ken. Ken feels neglected. Barbie feels inside them something feels off. Mortality thoughts, flat heels, depression, cellulite, and more. Their initial lifestyle in Barbie Land, for all intents and purposes, is presented as perfect, but it doesn't feel right. For all the tailored outfits and things built supposedly for them, it just doesn't fit. Fitted, but it doesn't fit right. It doesn't feel right. Or rather, it doesn't feel right anymore. It doesn't fit right anymore. Then there was that moment where Ken and Barbie went to California, when Barbie meditates at the bus stop to find the owner of her doll. The memories she flashes to might not seem much for some folks. But for me, I thought about how little of a relationship I had with my own mother, and the struggle I had trying to make things work just to relate. When she smiles at the old lady next to her at the bus stop, that was an added reminder for me that I wasn't getting any younger either. Don't ask me my thoughts on the Ken arc. I was recoiling secondhand embarrassment. But there was that moment, in the height of Barbie finding the Ken takeover. They return to Barbie Land, where Ken just pours his heart out. All that frustration, all the neglect. And I found myself understanding his side. How they get slapped into this role without their needs being met. And then there's Barbie, whose personal space gets violated by Ken. It was absolutely taken over, stolen. I found myself in both positions of being angry, of being invaded, of losing the few things that you could call your own. And it just hit me somewhere I thought I'd set us in a place that I thought I'd set aside for way too long. Sorry, it's a little bit hard. I didn't really get into the mother-daughter storyline that much, but I could say that I wish I could speak to my mother so casually. I guess it's just part of the Asian household thing. You know, the dynamic that you can't really relate with your parents that much, except on certain subjects. And I only get along with my family when I have to numb myself to feel welcome. All those opinions are voided by them for the most part. I didn't really get... Okay, the rest of the movie was funny, sure. But I think the scenes that really hit me are the tea scene and the moment Barbie meets a particular old lady officially. Let's do a recap. At the tea scene, the grandmother tells Barbie she's just right. And she tells her that it's okay, the real world isn't what you thought it would be, because that's what makes it marvelous. And for me, this scene was too short because the way it was shot is just glorious. Side note though, I thought it was a horror scene because it was gonna be like Courage the Cowardly Dog. I was afraid because I thought it would be like that thing with Courage the Cowardly Dog where he opens a door and it's something benign and then suddenly it becomes scary. I was not ready for that, and I'm so glad it was just a nice, heartwarming scene. Just a brief talk with the old lady Ruth and Barbie. Later in the movie, after taking things back and correcting the Kendom takeover, Barbie reminds Ken that he's enough. And Ken gets a shirt that says "I am enough" at the at the postpartum of that one. That they don't need to be together to find meaning in their lives. That's now my go-to tagline, by the way. I am enough. Look at here. And the scenes remind me that there really isn't a standard for me to follow. I'm just trying to follow a standard that someone else set. And it's okay not to meet that. Sorry. I was contemplating if I should do this with a camera or not, but then I realized, you know what, let's just stick with the VTuber, it's on brand. I don't really have a lot of emotions to show on this one. And then the finale, when Barbie and the old lady meet again, and she pulls her aside to talk about what makes a person and what makes an idea, what, how Barbie was made, who it was based on. Because spoiler for the movie, you might not, if you're, this is your last warning. If you don't want to be spoiled, I'm giving you the count of three. 3, 2, 1. The old lady was Ruth Handler, one of the CEOs to have probably likely created the Barbie doll based on their daughter Barbara Handler. And this scene is what broke me, this entire scene. And the use of Billie Eilish's song for the movie, What Was I Made For, was expertly used here. Extra salt in the wound. She tells Barbie what makes a person, what makes an idea. And here's how the song starts for Billie Eilish. I used to float, now I just fall down. I used to know, but I'm not sure now what I was made for. What was I made for? Taking a drive, I was an idea. Looked so alive, turns out I'm not real. Just something you paid for. What was I made for? To give you all context, this is when they discuss one of the echoing lines in Barbie, where people only have one ending, while ideas live forever. And when Ruth asks Barbie what she wants, Barbie says she wants to be the one creating ideas, not the idea itself anymore. And that was paired so well with the lyrics, and the reason this echoed within me has something to do with my career here online, YouTube, Twitch, and the other degenerate site you might find me in, which I'm not going to be sharing here because this isn't the time. To give you all context, this is when they discuss, okay, California Mackie, TheCaliMack, started as an idea many years ago. An idea that stayed vehemently alive for the past 8 years. An idea that I refused to let go because this was my escape. All the expectations, all the designs the family had, just all the ideas that I had to live up to, and all the designs family that had just that really just didn't fit me. Because they weren't me, because I have to go along with it just to avoid the fights that I used to suffer from, all the emotional and mental chess games that I had to navigate through. Callie was a TV persona designed for a time when gay Let's Plays were hard to come by, where comfort YouTubers like Markiplier and PewDiePie Jacksepticeye were prominent. A time in my life where making videos was my way to cope. But now, so much just runs in my head and eats me up inside. So much from the past 3 years happened, and to add to that, I'm starting to feel the pain of my friends coming and going. And I realize how alone I am even after college, after landing a job, and how isolated I am in this bubble this family built around me. How the last of my friends have gone and left without me. Without much contact. And that is if they weren't even assholes from the get-go, which I've failed to see a lot of times, too many times. My friend actually told me so. And now how I sometimes feel like some fucking accessory to my new friends, how making new ones in person feels like a horrible trial of fighting against barriers, if not empty discussions. And I know that these thoughts aren't true. My, I'm getting better. It's just, it got to that point, and it wasn't fun. I navigated Callie as a person, not as a brand, because, well, it is my person. I made this avatar because I wanted the place to be more genuine with myself. It might be a subset of me, but it's a really big subset. I know how important it is to separate the brand and the idea from the person, but it's actually a little bit difficult. A friend already warned me about the repercussions, but I think it was already too late at that point. Sorry, I could have followed this part of their advice. And deciding whether to keep the persona now or toss it out is even tougher, especially considering how it was and what it means to me now. And these days, Callie feels more like a more open self, but definitely tailored to an audience. But it still felt kind of mood because barely much has changed between where I started and where I am. And though I'm having a decent professional career, I still felt stuck as a person. And this movie gave me the words for it. Like those heels, like those names and roles, like those old pair of shorts I had. It doesn't fit. Like the friends I used to have, in contrast to now, the thoughts I had of myself back then versus now, it doesn't fit. And I haven't the foggiest of what does fit. And maybe that's okay. My mother's words, they don't fit. Certain friend groups, they don't fit. My old faith, they don't fit. Nothing fits anymore. I don't think I want them to. My job has been alright, but it doesn't fit quite right. Think I forgot how to be happy. Something I'm not, but something I can be. Something I wait for. Something I'm made for. Letting go has been one of the hardest things for me to do too. Letting go of everything I knew just to find an answer. But the movie helped me realize that you don't have to make things fit if they don't anymore. You can't force it like you would an outfit. Some things can be flexible, sure, but not everything. And it helped me breathe easier as a creator and as a person. As someone who's just wants to make stuff because, well, I want people to know we're genuine me, whether I die or not. Someone who likes these jokes, who enjoys this part of their identity, who enjoys games, who... Someone like me. Sorry. This movie was more than just comedy from the get-go for me. I know they focused on womanhood here, but for me it was also a story about understanding your own person and being ready to let go of what you use so you can explore who you can be and see what fits. As for me, well, it's also a story to remind me that I should give myself a chance to understand myself no matter how long it takes or how many tries I might need. Being and feeling human is fucking tough enough as it is. And despite everything, I think I did change. All the things I felt were signs of changes, and instead of fighting back so hard against it, maybe I should give them a chance and embrace it. I have for some of the easier ones, why not the harder ones? Heck, there's even that scene where Barbie encourages Ken to find his own meaning for himself, and where she finally tries on a new fit for herself. In all my stumbling, I can find who I can be, likely. Hey, maybe it'll be as Callie, maybe it'll be as someone else. Right now, though, it fits just right. But maybe I should try on maybe new shoes, a new jacket, new hair. It's a comfy fit, but it's missing a few things. I'm sure I could get them I could get to them down the road. But in the meantime, this has been the TheCaliMack. California Mackie. California Mackie signing out. Signing out. Signing out. Because I know what signing out. Bye for now. Thank you. Thank you all. By the way, this isn't me. I'm resigning. Holy shit! It's way too early for that. I'm gonna see what fits. Right now, I'm just trying to get this out because it really had feelings inside me that I wanted to let people know. Anyway, bye for now. I'll see. I'll see you guys soon. Teehee. Callie signing out. Bye.